Well, welcome back. We're back working on our Project 352. So what we got going on is, like I said, our next spot was to adjust the fuel system, and that's what we're doing. So off camera, I drained that fuel tank, the primary fuel tank, and there's only like 5 gallons in it anyway. The fuel looked actually pretty good, so it might have been a waste, it might not. Whatever, nobody cares, it's 5 gallons. So what we got going on is I pulled the level sender out of here. You could tell it's pretty crusty. It looks way better now than it did. This thing was totally rusted over. The float was totally seized. It didn't move at all. It took like probably 2-3 hours to free this up and get it moving. Right now I have a busted wire in between. That is, you see that metal strip in there? It looks like a metal strip. It looks like ribs. That is a resistor grid. And right now I have a broken connection between where this wire comes out of it and that resistor grid. So I think I had to remove these rivets and pull that off of there. Must be resolder and then put it back together. It does work though. Like if you put your ohm meter on here and touch the ground, like you do get, it does work. The grid's functioning, it's not broken. So we're gonna try to save this one just because it's original and I'm kind of anal retentive, so that's what we're gonna do. The other good news is I did get a bunch of parts in the mail, which is awesome. Lead Diesel is where I get all my shit, Newville, Pennsylvania. Them guys are awesome. You know, give them a shout. 717-776-7725, I think is the number. But anyway, they're in Newville, PA. They're great bunch of guys. And they sent me, we got our conversions for our secondary and our primary. You could tell it's got the big heads on it. They're like twice the size of a regular one. The ports are way bigger. V12 specific. I mean, you could put them on anything, but they're 4 V12s and they take bigger filters. So this is what's gonna go on there. And then I got oil filters too. I'm not converting the oil filter to spin-on because there's no need. They seal up pretty good. But in my experience, it's just not it's not worth trying to troubleshoot a fuel problem and deal with them cartridge filters. So we're converting it. That's probably one of the few things I'm gonna change. We pulled some things out of the tank. Let me see. Oh, we're gonna wash the tank out today with Dawn dish soap. So I got my sprayer all ready. We're gonna go do that. I gotta fill it up and then we're gonna do that. But I'll show you what I did on the tank over here. Obviously we got the fuel sender out of it, but I deleted that weird crossover vent line that they added. I think they added that trying to troubleshoot the the truck had to be losing prime. And because it has that weird check valve that we saw on the primary filter, not supposed to be there, that's coming off. But also it had this weird crossover line, and I think they added it trying to troubleshoot maybe the tank wasn't venting. The vent is clear. All these vents do is allow air to pass in, and then the minute it flips over, like if you roll a truck or something, anytime there's anything trying to come out, it seals off, and they do work. So I just put the vent back where the T-fitting and shit was. The draw tube is okay. I pulled it out of here. It's a metal line, and it's a steel line, and it must be brazed to this brass fitting, and it goes all the way down to the bottom of the tank. They didn't draw off the bottom of the tank on these. They always, back in the day, Peterbilt they had to change at some point in the 70s because my 81 doesn't have it. As we saw, it draws from the bottom of the tank, but my 74 V12 is the same way. It has a fitting with the pipe brazed onto it, and it goes all the way to the bottom of the tank. So the suction is good. We verified that. The return line is where their problem was, and this is the return side. And on a Detroit, your return has to go all the way to the bottom of the tank. It has to be below the level at all times, and it has to be, I believe, below the suction. And you want it to do that because otherwise it loses its prime. Now you can see this is broken off. I took this fitting right out of here. It goes in here and the line connects to it like such. But so what we're gonna do is get a new fitting and braze. I tried to get the pipe out of this. I couldn't get it out, so we're gonna have to go get a new fitting and get a new pipe, and that's got to go all the way to the bottom of the tank, like to the very bottom, and that will that'll solve the lack of prime. Other than that, the tank's all drained. It does have a bunch of rust and sediment in the bottom of it, so we have to wash that out, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that off camera. The other tank, the drain plug in the bottom of it is totally seized. I tried a pipe wrench. I tried just about everything, and I couldn't get it out. I tried to heat it, nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up welding a nut to that when it comes time. But in the meantime, I just closed off the valve that goes in between the two tanks, so it won't contaminate our fuel or anything over here. It's no big deal. Like, we'll just do it another day, like when the truck's running and driving and shit. We'll deal with that another time. So yeah, I'm gonna wash this out, and I'm gonna do that off camera. You guys don't really need to see me do that, but I'm just gonna put a bucket under it, spray it in there, and try to spray some water and whatever. That's what we're gonna do. I'll do that, and I'll come back with you. All right, well, update. I got it as clean as I can get it. We scrubbed it with the brush. I got a brush in there. We scrubbed that, and then I get all the water out. I vacuumed it up with a wet dry vac through the fill, so good enough for who it's for. All right, well, all of our efforts were not in vain. We got her working. Works pretty mint, actually. Get the occasional like glitchy reading, but like right in there in that area. But other than that, it's pretty mint. So that's that deal. I could put that back in now. Good to go there. I'm gonna go install that, and then we'll start doing lines now that that tank is all buttoned up. Well, there you have it. She is totally buttoned up. So if you'll remember, we still have to get the new pipe and fitting for this guy. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and do these lines. Whatever's left of them anyway. Well, I got them off at the junction in here. The 73, the difference between 73 and 74 is, looks like they had a metal, actually I can't remember if my 74 had these or not. This is a line retainer, goes on the inside of the frame, this thing here. So I removed two of them, and then, if you look, we got, these go up over an air tank, under the frame, and then around this tank, and I had to pull on them, get them out of there, and it just disintegrated. Like it's total junk. Just friggin' wasted. So, like I said, there's no way you're gonna pull fuel from any of that. Just lovely, boys. Wow. Totally wasted. The factory Peterbilt, this is they wrap these around the line here, this stuff here. And luckily it's all still really flexible and in decent shape, so we're going to reuse as much of it as we can. Put it in the factory locations, like make a mental note of where it goes. So I don't think I'm going to try to reuse these fittings, even though they're technically reusable. I don't know, man. That shit's pretty tore up. The lines I'm talking about removing are the feed. They come up, feed and the return. They come up, remember this line was bleeding. This is your return line. Comes up to here in this junction block. So what we're gonna do is pull it here, pull the feed here, and we'll start here and go work our way back to the tank. Well, we got all the lines off. Quite the pile of junk. You can see how fast it adds up. What are we gonna do? So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull that housing off, put the new housing on, and you know, get the fittings all aligned, and then just tape it so it you know, so it's ready to go. Tape the fittings so nothing gets in there. I'll probably tape these ones up too. Friggin' mud daubers. Well, that does it there. We got our lines all set. All the factory fittings are back into her. Done and done. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, I put this valve cover back on. Came out alright. It's pretty walloped. It's kind of a shame. Wish I could bring that back. But this is what it is. So yeah, I just really didn't like them hose fittings, the hose ends. So these freaking things, boys, they ain't cheap. They're like $12.50 each US, because this is America. They're like $12.50 each for the Dash 8, and the Dash 6s are $9 a piece, like $9.50. I found a bag of 48 of the Dash 6s on eBay, so I bought that. Way cheaper. And the Dash 8s I'm kind of friggin' stuck on right now. I found a couple, there's only 10 of them on eBay, so I sent the guy an offer on them. But if that don't pan out within the next day, I'm gonna have to go down to D&W and just pony up and buy them. Just sucks. I really want to spend like 150 bucks on just a couple fittings, you know. But whatever, that's trucking. Nothing about this deal is cheap. I mean, if you're gonna do one of these right, it's big money. And what we're doing is just, this is a very light mechanical for right now. The main goal here is preservation. We're gonna get this running and driving and present it as a survivor. Once my new shop's built, I may pull this thing right down to the frame rails and blast it and do it completely as it was from the factory, just like right down to a T. But I haven't made that decision yet. Still a long way in the future, but for now we're doing a light mechanical, just get it back to where we can run it, drive it, enjoy it, and it'll be reliable. Like I said, not change a whole lot, just try to bring her back. So that's where we're at. I'll hit you back when we end up making these lines. Obviously, it's not going to be for a few days until I get my fittings now. So we're on hold. I'll hit you back. All right, boys. Well, welcome back. Next day. We got the lines made and installed. The fittings aren't tight or nothing, but it's all in the exact factory correct routing. Let's see if you can see. There, they run through the hangers. These ones are all on. So we're done up to the motor. Let me see. We're done up to the motor here. I got to put the clamp back on here. You know, cut the zip ties, blah blah blah. So these lines, well, first of all, I gotta give a big shout out to Mikey and the team down at Meridian Hydraulics. Local place, friggin' awesome, dude. Family owned business. I don't even have an account there, man. And whenever I go in there, they always take care of me. Always super pleasant, like just A+. I drive an hour each way to go see them for fittings and shit just because it's totally worth it. They're that good. So, swing in there, tell them Detroit Wayno says hi, and don't be afraid to spend some money down there. They're real good people and they'll take care of you. He didn't pay me to say this, or like I didn't get a discount for saying it or nothing like that. Just, you know, there's really few, especially after Corona, there's really few good family run businesses left anymore, and he's one of them. So go spend some money. But so anyway, I made these freaking lines last night and I got super duper frustrated because I came out to put them on and they were about 6 inches short. The old ones that came off, they were so weathered and rotted and everything, even though I tried to follow them exactly, it didn't, whatever, it didn't work. So we remade them. Hopefully I can use them scabs of line somewhere else. The Dash 6 I'm sure I'll use somewhere else, but the 8, I don't know, unless I can finagle it through one of these up to the primary. I don't know about the 8, might be a waste, but that's trucking. All right, boys. So I had a hunch and I pulled this out of the cylinder head. It's on the driver's side head. This is where the crossover line went from here to the other head. And then this goes out to return to tank. But looking at this, we're missing something here, fellas. So this book is from 72, and it shows that a 12V71, including turbocharge, non-2 valve head, so that is us, should have a 1065 restrictor fitting of type either 4 or 6. So that one, or this one. So I thought maybe this was a restrictor fitting. However, there is no marking on it, and restrictor fittings are always labeled with their, so it would be labeled R106 or R10. This is not a restrictor fitting. There is no restrictor fitting in that unit right there. So this engine did not have the appropriate restrictor fitting on it. So I'm gonna bet whoever was in here and did fuel lines before must have changed this or changed something so that and didn't, I don't know why they changed it. Maybe they broke something, taking it apart. You can tell it's all marred, like somebody's been in there. I don't know why they didn't put a restrictor fitting in. A lot of people don't realize that they're actual restrictor fittings. So that is no bueno. We have to, I'm gonna order a restrictor fitting. You have to have the correct size restrictor fitting. You can change it if you play with the pump size and shit like that for high performance application. But regardless, you need to have a restricted fuel fitting in order for the engine to make appropriate fuel pressure and run correctly. And they will not run right without the right fuel pressure. So coming over here, looking in the newer updated book, this book's from like 92, I think. It does show, it actually shows a smaller restriction fitting. So 12V7 NA automotive. is showing an 080 instead of the 11 or 1065. So it's actually calling for a little bit smaller of a restriction fitting, which I'm kind of surprised at. Oh, here we go. 12V71 NAT industrial. That shows the 106. T industrial marine 106. And they're specing the 106 for bigger injectors. In that book it shows all the way up to 90, so I'm not sure what we're gonna put back in it. I'm tempted to put I think we're gonna put the 80 in. I think we're gonna put the 080 in because that specifically says automotive. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the 080 in. I'll order this part number here. I think this is the yeah, this is the current number, the 8924195. So I'll get one of them on order, but I just thought I would quick update you. I'm sorry that video kind of dragged out, but whatever. It is what it is. This shit takes time. So thanks for watching. I'll really let you go, y'all, this time. Stay tuned.